GDC 2024, here with Rob Schoeppe, CRO of AccelByte. AccelByte or AccelByte?
AccelByte.
I get it wrong every time, sorry Rob.
No worries.
How's the show going?
So far so good. It's very lively. They say that it is one of the biggest GDCs in a few years, so it feels like after the pandemic it's really starting to come back.
Finally getting back to that level, aren't we?
Yeah, we're feeling the momentum.
Yeah, for sure. What's the main objective for AccelByte here?
One is to meet a lot of new customers and a lot of existing customers, and then we are highlighting some of the new features that we're releasing, and so one of those is the free tier of our service. And so now we have a readily available free tier where people can sign up, use AccelByte for free up to a certain rate limit or time limit, and then to get to experience of all the wonderful features that we have to provide developers to make them be more successful.
Is that something your developers that you're working with have been asking for a while, or is it just an outside-of-the-box product?
It's a newer out-of-the-box product. We initially started to work with AAA developers who are more focused on console PC development. But as we continue to expand, we want to broaden the horizon, and we want to give the opportunity for anybody who's making a game to be able to leverage our technology. And so we really took a look at it and said, how do we lower the barrier of entry and make it very easy for people to just quickly adopt and start using?
Amazing, amazing. Had much interest so far then?
So far so good.
It's day one, I guess, so you'll know more in a few days.
We just did it this week, and so the next couple weeks will tell. But it's really about how people get in. Our goal is to learn as much as we can from customers and collect customer feedback. So we're considering it a little bit of a soft launch in that we want people to use it, we want people to give us feedback, we want people to tell us what the gaps are, and then we're going to go improve it and make it even better.
Amazing, yeah. Same with any product. I think just listening to the customers, getting their feedback like during the whole process is stupid not to do it in the first place, right?
In the games industry, it's very important because I'm a gamer and I want to play great games, and so a lot of it is making sure we're providing the right tools to help customers make the best game possible that I can then go home and play.
What kind of games are you into then?
I like a lot of story-driven games, so Horizon, I got stuck in that for a while. I played a lot of Legend of Zelda, and then just the regular Call of Duties. I just can't miss a Call of Duty game every time it comes out.
I'm addicted myself.
Indeed.
Yeah, shame Verdansk is gone. Apparently they're going to be bringing it back, but I'm a Warzone man myself. So you mentioned products earlier.
Yeah, so in addition to AGS Starter, so AccelByte Starter, we're also pushing forward with our multiplayer game server product called AMS, so AccelByte Multiplayer Servers. Very excited about that. Our goal with that product is to really be customer obsessed and make sure that we are supporting whatever server infrastructure that the customer wants. So if they want to use cloud, they want to use bare metal, we don't really care. We want to be agnostic and do the best thing for the customer and help them drive down costs as much as possible.
Yeah.
And so,
which is where we come in.
Yes, happy to be working with you guys at Servers.com and really helping us to really optimize that cost and making sure that we're doing the best thing for the customer.
Is that kind of the main piece of feedback that you're getting from customers in terms of the motivation behind AMS is really cost driven?
It's cost and functionality, but in the games industry in general, game servers, as you guys probably know as well, have become somewhat of a commodity. And so what is the value on top of that? So AMS provides value in the terms of robust matchmaking, and so we can create player matches all over the world, regardless of cloud or bare metal infrastructure.
So you mentioned cost optimization.
Yes.
Is that like the main driving force for AMS for your developers based on the feedback you're hearing?
Cost and value. And so customers are always looking for value. What is the unique value I can get out of the service or the provider? And the unique value that we provide is through our robust matchmaking service to make sure that we can match players all over the world and give the player the best experience possible. And then cost. Game servers have become somewhat of a commodity in the industry in that everyone says, well, I can get a game server anywhere. I can go to a cloud or bare metal. How do you make it cheaper, better, faster? And so we want to make sure that we're partnering with the best providers in the industry to provide that cost value to the customer and then, again, help them do the best thing possible.
I think it comes down to scalability, right? Like a lot of developers end up going with cloud because they're like, well, I don't know what I need, and I need it to be available when I do know what I need, which is always last minute. But it doesn't have to be that way, right?
It doesn't always have to be. I mean, you can, traditionally what I tell people, especially when you're ramping up server, forecast your CCU and then secure capacity to meet at least 30 to 50% of that demand. And then if you can cover the risk of getting 30 to 50% of the demand, then you can burst and figure out whether you want to go cloud or otherwise. But that's how you manage risk and cost in the best way possible. We know success and failure of video games, it's like hitting the lottery.
Well, yeah.
You can get a great YouTube stream and take off, or you can fall flat on your face. And we want to make sure that customers aren't taking on that burden up front and saying, okay, well, I have all this sunk cost because now I have all these servers just sitting idle.
Yeah.
And so again, we want to make sure we're scaling based on customer need and demand and passing through the best cost possible.
So utilizing Servers.com's scalable bare metal, combining it with the perks of scalable cloud as well is
Correct.
really the sweet spot, and why AMS is so popular amongst developers, right?
Correct. And so it's very agnostic. Again, we do care, but then we don't care. Really, it's customer choice, and we want to make sure that they have the ultimate breadth and depth of choice, and that we give them what they need to be as successful as possible.
So I've got to ask, why did you use Servers.com for your bare metal?
Number one is the relationship that we have. So we get amazing support from the Servers.com team. Extremely responsive. When we do have those big peak launches, or the reverse happens where customer doesn't see the success that they were expecting, we can rely on the Servers.com team to react very quickly and help spin down that server capacity again, so the customer isn't seeing any excess charges or worrying about cost in the end. Again, they don't want to have excess capacity. They want to be able to flex with the demand of their player, right? And so we felt that the relationship that we have with Servers.com has really helped us fill that need and then pass that value back onto the customer in the best way possible.
Amazing, yeah, great to hear. I think our whole thing was plugging that gap between traditional bare metal and cloud, and having something that is as scalable in terms of matching what you got with the cloud, but not this like having to wait weeks and weeks and weeks. So,
yes. I mean, that's always been the in previous life I was a game developer, and there was always the big fear and trepidation of going and saying, okay, well, I'm going to launch this game. Do I really need that much capacity? And then the negative would happen. We would probably under provision, and we wouldn't have enough capacity to meet the demand. And so with Servers.com, and like we said, with AMS, we can kind of get ahead of that game and really say, okay, what is the best for the customer? Let's provision for what that 30 to 40% looks like. Let's not over, but let's not under, and then be able to scale up very, very quickly. And as I said, we can reach out to the Servers.com team, we get immediate response, and then react to that need. And so from the end customer perspective, they don't see the impact. And they just go seamlessly, this works great, their players have a great experience, and we all win.
Amazing. You said this is GDC number 20?
GDC number 21 for me.
So you've seen a lot of hot topics come and go over the years?
Every year there's a buzzword, right? And so I think this year's, there's a couple. The obvious one being AI, right? A lot of people are investing in AI and hoping that that's going to solve a lot of their tooling problems and helping them scale and be more efficient. The other one is really the future of the games industry and how we believe that there's going to be this pivot from core AAA licensed experiences to more homebrew indie experiences. And so you think of the example of Powworld, who launched just a few weeks ago. They saw amazing success. Very, very small team, was able to scale to support millions of players very, very quickly.
Incredible numbers.
And then came down very quickly. We saw another one with Helldivers. Great success, came out of nowhere. And so I think that's going to be the trend of this year, is we're going to see a lot more indie, smaller developers leveraging tools to make great games. And I think what I hope we're going to see for continued years to come is technology, especially things like AccelByte, are going to reduce the barrier to entry. And so what that means is people can use the same technology a AAA company does to make the same quality of game with a third of the people. And that's what I'm super excited about, because it helps us to get more games out there. It helps us to have these really creative and immersive experiences. And again, I'm a gamer. I want to go home and play these games.
I think it's once they nail the fun,
yes,
having AI to empower building that is,
yes,
it's going to really open up a lot more fun games for everyone, for me, for you, exactly.
Yes. And then, last year's buzzword was, and I'm going to say it, Metaverse.
Bringing it back to 2024.
Yeah, I don't know what Metaverse means. I've asked many people I meet with, that's my typical question, what is the Metaverse to you? It's many different things to many different people, but I think this concept of shared, persistent kind of experiences is going to continue to evolve, and live service games are going to continue to evolve. And so over the next 5-10 years, we're going to see the transition from single-player story or narrative-driven games into this very immersive, always-on worlds where I can drop in, drop out. From a server perspective, it's kind of fundamental to making that work because we need to have persistent, always available, always on capacity everywhere in the world as people jump in and out of those experiences. At the end of the day, the player doesn't care. They just go, I want to play with my friends, and I want this to be the same as it was 20 minutes ago. And so it's up to us to provide that technology and make sure it's completely transparent to the end player.
So is that a route that you're going down? Because obviously you do a lot of session-based stuff, but in terms of MMOs and Metaverse, for example,
yes.
Is that something that you've got the services to support?
Yes, and so a big focus of us is live service games specifically and helping people to build really sustainable, durable, long-term experiences in a live service game. We have a few being built on the platform today, and we continue to help invest in those customers and really ask the question, what do you need to be better? What do you need to make sure that you are able to sustain your community for a long time? Collect that feedback and always improving the platform. So I'm actually going to be doing a talk here at GDC on Friday. Live service games, the developer perspective. We did a third-party research study where we gathered a lot of data on the future of what live service games are going to be. And one of those data points, which was really interesting, is traditionally people say it's really hard, you need large teams, and it costs a lot of money for content to make live service games.
Yeah, right.
We actually saw the opposite in the survey that we did, where 50% of the developers investing in live service games today are teams less than 50 people.
Wow.
So smaller groups, I don't want to say indie, but smaller studios, leveraging technology to create that experience, and not having to worry about building out these huge live service teams.
Also, like you say, it just opens up the accessibility to so many more creative, fun, games and projects in the horizon for giving the small guys a chance, right?
Yes.
Because it's so, I always get asked a lot of the time, like, what defines a AAA game?
And it's usually a big, like a PlayStation, an Activision, an EA who's making a big AAA game, but they
budget,
got
right?
Thousands of people to throw at it.
Exactly.
We should be able to have the same experiences with smaller teams, more impactful.
Which is kind of what we see with Power World.
Correct.
And what was the other one you mentioned?
Helldivers.
Helldivers, yeah.
But Helldivers,
year?
Sony title though. It was a Sony title. Power World, the great quote I heard from them was, our team is too small and we don't know what to do with all the profits.
I do love their CEO on LinkedIn. He's so honest.
Yes. I'm like, hey, I want to see more of that.
Yeah. Just down to earth.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. Rob, really appreciate your time.
Thank you so
Enjoy the
much.
rest of the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for being a great partner. We're looking forward to where we can take this.
You too, man.
Thank you.